Shalom from Jerusalem. This is Ludin once again, and I'm here once again to continue to tell the entire world our story here in Israel, Jerusalem. I keep telling you that we discovered that we were Bnei Anusim, or Marrano converso Jews from Spain that were forced to convert to Catholicism during the time of the Inquisition, during the period of the 1300s, late 1300s, even as far as 1492 and as far as the 1700s. But anyway, once I discovered that we were Bnei Anusim, or Sephardim, or Sefardites de España, from Spain, I had a sense in my nefesh, in my soul, that I needed to come to Israel in 2004 October. So I did so, and after arriving at Ben Gurion Airport and after volunteering with the SAR-L program at the Army, cleaning, painting at the base, I needed to come to Jerusalem, where I needed to find more about who I was and what was Judaism about and what was Israel about, and what I needed to find out for myself after I discovered what we were. The names Centeno and Perez are registered in El Libro Verde de Aragon in Spain, where the inquisitors, the Catholic Church, maintain the names of the families that were forced to convert to Catholicism. So I came to the conclusion that the name Centeno, which is a very rare name, Centeno, which is from my father's side, and from my mother's side is Perez. These two names were or are registered in El Libro Verde de Aragon in Spain. So after coming to Israel, finding this out in Israel, not in America, I decided to seek help on how to come back to my roots, learn more about Israel, learn more about its culture, its people, my people, and of course more about Judaism. I went to every agency here in Israel seeking help. I wanted to do a giur, a conversion back to my roots, Judaism. And Shlomo Amar didn't help me, Rabbi Druckmann didn't help me, the Prime Minister's Office didn't help me, Shabbat Israel didn't help me, Michael Froom didn't help me, the Rabbinical Council of the Americas didn't help me, the Jewish Agency didn't help me. No one seems to give any answers or any sort of help for my situation after discovering that we were Marranos or conversos or Bnei Anusim. So I decided to call the office of Shlomo Amar, and Shlomo Amar sent me to the Prime Minister's office, which I met Rabbi Peretz, I believe it was, at the Prime Minister's office, and I asked him, look, I discovered my roots, can you help me? So he automatically said, I don't think I can help you because I cannot give you a visa to stay in this country. So I left it at that, and I decided that I needed to go to yeshivas, and I went to a few yeshivas here in Israel, seeking more, learning more about Judaism and learning more about Israel's culture and my people, of course. So I went back to America, and I decided to go to a local congregation called Temple Beth Shalom in the U.S., where Dr. Margolis, I sat with him and I explained to him my situation, and I told him, look, this is my story and I want to come back to my roots and I want to be a Jew, which I discovered that my ancestors were. And he had no problem helping me do a giur or conversion back to Judaism. But before that, I went to Chabad, and I went a few months, and I just had a problem with them trying to push down my throat that Schneerson the Lubavitcher is the Mashiach. So I had a problem with that. So I did tell my rabbi, look, I went to church, I was involved in church, I did a lot of things within the church because that's what I learned as a child and as an adult. I went to church. And after doing all my papers and getting everything ready to make Aliyah to Israel, I got in touch with Nefesh B'Nefesh, Danny Oberman. I sent all my papers to Nefesh B'Nefesh, to the Jewish Agency, and after 6 months or so, or 8 months, I get a call or an email from Danny Olbermann saying that they found me on the internet on Christian sites. So the Israeli government denied me the right to become a Jew according to the law of return because I went to church. But I have never denied that I went to church because that's what we were forced to do during the time of the Inquisition. And many of us practice Catholicism or Christianism until this day. And many Sephardic Jews that were forced to convert to Catholicism are still practicing Christianity or Catholicism, and there were Jews forced to convert to Catholicism. Yet you have in this country over 400,000 Russians that came back to Israel under the so-called law of return, and they go to church, they go to Messianic congregations, they eat pig, they sell pig, they don't care nothing about Judaism, they don't go to synagogue, and they can care less about anything that has to do with Judaism. Yet I did a giur, which is a conversion, I did a brit milah, which is a circumcision, I did a bet din, and I did a mikveh. Yet I was told that the chairman of the board of Jewish agency, Natan Sharansky, spoke to Eli Yishai on my behalf. I don't know whether that was true or not, but Rachel Shiloh was the one that told me, I think that he did. But anyway, Eli Yishai, Mazal Cohen, Elena Golan, and Lior Shachar has been persecuting me and my family for the last 2.5 years or so. We have filed a petition with the Israeli Supreme Court to see what the Supreme Court justices will do on my behalf. I am married to Efrat, which is a Jew. She's born and raised here. Her great-grandfather was a rabbi in Morocco, and we have a daughter 16 months old. I am not able to work nor provide for my family here in Israel because Eli Yishai, Lior Shachar, Mazal Cohen, and Elena Golan have denied me the ability to return back as a Jew under the law of return. Why? I did a giur, I did a bet din, I did a brit milah, and I did a mikveh. In my house, as you can see, we practice everything that has to do with Judaism. Yet, I've been denied the ability to provide food and shelter for my family. How can Eli Yishai sit on Shabbat with hundreds of his so-called friends, eat well, sleep well, yet my family, Luden Centeno's family, doesn't have any money to pay the rent, to pay the bills, to buy Similac, Pampers, and all the things that a child needs. To all my friends and partners, all Sephardics that are there that are practicing Catholicism or Christianism, if you find out and you discover that you are Bnei Anusim or Marano converso Jews from Spain, you will have a difficult time because the Orthodox, headed by Eliyahu Yishai, head of the Shas party, who is part of the Netanyahu government, will deny you at once. We need to raise 3,000 shekels a month. And I'm not able to. I want to work. These two hands can paint, can do electrical, can do plumbing. I like to report the news, of course. We need to provide for my family. Rafi Reshev, if you're listening to this interview, please help us expose the hardships that Eliyahu Yishai, head of the Interior Ministry, head of the Shas party here in Israel, has done to me and my family. Please help us, to all news media throughout the world. Let's expose this Interior Ministry so-called minister, Eli Yishai, Lior Shachar, Mazal Cohen, and Eleanor Golan. Enough is enough. I cannot provide food, shelter for my family. Enough is enough. Please help me expose Eli Yishai of the Interior Ministry here in Israel, who is part of the Netanyahu government.